I'm going live to show how to change pumps when I'm trying to connect to my speaker right now. I don't know why it's not connecting to it. Let's see if I can go to microphone here. No, not while I'm in live, that's for sure. Okay, hopefully the speaker is okay on the actual DJI, the Pocket 3. It has two, so hopefully you guys can hear me, because I can't see the screen. But I'm changing pumps here today. 4 to be exact. I got 4 of them that were in like this. Like that. And I'm going to be switching them out today with these pumps here. So that's what I'm going to switch them up to. Take these off. You can get the lines in. So we'll start with the farthest one. I just kind of pull these back, but all 4 of these need to be changed before I can get this machine going again. We'll start with this last one here. Alright, so you have your in and your out, and on this one here is your out, and that's the in. So it goes in and then out here. So because it's a different pump, you got to sort of follow the arrows and make sure that you're putting the one that pumps out into your into your waste tank. One goes to the waste tank, and the other one, of course, goes to your capping station to suck. So one sucks, one pushes out. So this sucks from your capping station. Sorry, this side sucks, this side pushes out. Okay, so I'll start off by unplugging it here. Pull that out. So I'll unplug that first, and then I will put in the new one here. Make sure that plugs in correctly. There we go. And now we have power to it. And now I want to get the hoses run from here to here, and then that pump's replaced. So let's start with that. So again, you have your in and your out. And on here it shows you out, in. So now, sometimes I cut these because once you put these on, it kind of wears this out and kind of makes it wider here. So you want to kind of cut a new fresh piece off. Let me just grab some scissors here. Cut the one off. Cut it right at the base, so basically right at the base, so you're not losing much hose. I'll cut that one first. So I have it indicated on here which one it is. So that's the in, and then this of course is the out. Cut that off. Now I can just remove this pump. It's no good. And now we can put it in the new pump. So because it goes underneath, you gotta sort of put these slide these underneath and then through here. So you can put them back. When you put it back, it goes back properly. So, got that. Got my in and my out. So that goes in my in, which is this side. Before I do that, we put these on. These sort of just screw it in when it goes on. There's two of them, one for each side. We get the other side here. Now I will go in. That's my in. Oops. I'll just push that on. Here. Oops. Push that in. Get it nice and on there. And then this just screws and solidifies it on. Then you grab your other end. This is the out. Push that in. Oops. Sometimes it could be a little bit of a nuisance, but you just work around it. Just keep going until you get it. Alright, so that is one pump change there. And we'll just push that down into place. And of course there's two screws, and we'll screw that down afterwards. Actually, screw that down now. I have the screws. I'll just leave it out for now. Let's move on to the next one. We'll move to the next pump. Of course, unplugging it. Unplugged now. Get our new pump out. Just take these off. Make sure when you close the clips, you reopen them. You don't want to be pumping with it closed. I just have these clips in case there's any extra ink in there. It doesn't sort of spill out onto me as I cut these. So I've got the power out on this one. Put the new power in afterwards. So let's cut the hose and get these in place. There we go. Hoses are cut. Old pump out. New pump's in. Again, we got to put it through the bottom of the hole so that it goes in properly. Okay. Through here. Then we have our in and our out. Just follow the same arrows in and out. Oh, forgetting to put these little guys on. Okay, so we got our in. Just put that in. I don't know. Can you see Haley? No, it's only inside the machine. Huh? Okay, push that on. Once you get the hose into the pump, just seal it up. Okay. Reopen the clips so that the ink can flow through. And then I'll put that back in place. And that's 2 now. And then I'll plug it in and get power to it. Now it's all plugged in. That's 2. Oops. Just pull that down a bit. Okay, move on to this one now. Again, unplugging it, take the power out. Just kind of don't lose the power thing when you're doing this, just remember where it is. Then we have our in and our out. Just close that up for a second. Cut this off. Oh, let me get my new pump ready. So, new pump. Take these off, put them on after. These right at the base, right at the base of it, so that you're not wasting hose. So just right at that base. Again, I indicated on my clips which is in, which is out. Just follow the in and out. So this side is in. Sorry. Make sure you put it through the hole first. If you have this kind of setup. That way when you put it back, the hoses go through the bottom of the hole and not on the outside where you'll be impeded. Alright, so we have our in or out. That's the in. Oops, that's what I forgot to do. Put this on. Get these on. Okay. Move this back a little bit more. Alright. Myself some workspace. That's our out. That's our in. Again, we want it in. Out. Undo the clips, allow flow, just push this back down through the hole now, through here, that is 3, about 4, let's get the power running back to it, okay, power is connected now, let's move on to our last pump here. I think I'm going to screw these down afterwards. Okay, so let's do the last one here. We're going to pull this out. That's the power there. The pump ready. Everything looks good. Take these off. Okay, we'll cut it. Just close these. Cut off the old again right at the base of the pump. Right at the base of the pump. Now there's the old pump. You want to cut it right at the base. You don't want to lose a lot of this hose, otherwise you're just going to have to replace it or put new hose in. You could also get extenders, just put a little a little extender piece in and then extend your hose as well. But sometimes after time, when you're using, this is Eco Sullivan, and with Eco Sullivan, this is an Eco Sullivan printer, so with that you use CLS. And you use that for UV as well. But what happens over time with using CLS, this hose is still firm, but I've had to change the hoses for the capping station, because over time with CLS it weakens them and makes them really flimsy, and it won't suck as well. When it sucks, it starts to really squish in. So over time, again, these are about maybe 8 months, 9 months old, and I do clean with CLS and run it through. But the only issue with doing that is, again, it rubberizes your hoses, and it also damages your pumps a little bit as well when you're clearing it out. So those are two things that are like a disadvantage. But the advantage is, if you have $1,800 heads, you're saving the heads from clogging. So that's why I use CLS to clean. Alright, so we have our in and our out. I'm going to follow that with the new one. Put it through the bottom. Through the bottom. Through the bottom. And up. In and out. Follow the lines, in and out, in. Oh, keep forgetting to put these damn things on. Get that one on, and get this one on. There we go. Oh, watch they don't slide off and you'll lose them. All right, so that, ensure that's in. So that is our in. Just make sure it's on the pump, nice and firmly around it to the thread. If you have thread on yours, some of these have threaded knobs that you thread on, so this one does. So after I get the hose completely on, then I screw this down, and then that firmly holds the hose nicely in place. And again, do the same with the other one. Just put that through. Make sure that this is over and on completely to the thread, so you have a nice firm suction. And again, just pull that over, and let's put that over the thread, and we'll seal this one on. There we go. Let's open this back up, allow the ink to flow. We're going to pull this back through the hole, the hose, so it just pumps down, and then we can get it looking nice and neat up here. So we'll pop that through, get the clips in there. Okay, so I think I'm going to, before I go any farther, ensure there's no kinks. Once you push this through, make sure there's no kinks in your hoses. Ensure you have all the power plugged in. Let's get this one in. Okay, so now I have all 4 powered up. But I want to get some screws. I don't have them here. I gotta go grab them. So I'm gonna get some screws and I'm gonna just screw these down so they're nice and neat across and not just sort of sitting here loose like that. And then when it pumps, if they're not screwed down, when it pumps, it's like vibrates against it, makes a lot of noise when it's pumping. So it's better to screw it down. So I'm just gonna go grab some screws for that. Okay, I got some screws here. I think they're the right ones. Just make sure that they thread through okay. Yeah, a little bit longer than I'd like, but that's fine. So this is going to be hard to do with the freaking cameras here. Let's see what I can do here. Maybe I'll start with this one. It's closer. Uh-oh. Might have to get a shorter screwdriver. Let's see if I can sneak it in there. I'm gonna get a shorter one. That's a pain in the butt. Hopefully this one works. Yeah, it's not too fat. Thought it might be a little bit too fat, but it works. So let's get that in. It's 2. Got it beside you there, buddy. Let's get this one in. Last one. Oh, lost the screw. We'll get that later. So I'm going to pre-put the screw in this one. I don't lose it. Line it up with the hole. And then all I have to do is just put the screwdriver on, twist it in place. Oops. It's supposed to be that easy. A screwdriver, look at that. It like just fits. Like it's so borderline like. Well, just get that in place. Make sure it's nice and tight down to the base of it. So there's minimal vibration. Nice and tight. There. Yeah, we got all 4 in place now. Okay, so that's our pumps switched up. But now I gotta move to the dampers and to the head so I can start to prime that out and then start running some ink through this and see if we got everything flowing through properly. Okay, so we're moving from the pumps. Move this camera for now. Let's go over here. So that's the pencil we're working with. 64-inch Eco Sullivan. This is what we do our banners with. It's got banner material in there right now. Got the DTF printer going in the back there. So I just gotta move some stuff around here, and then we'll get on to the heads, the heads themselves. YouTube. Just gonna move you there, buddy. Just temporarily. Gotta find a tripod for this still. Then I have my lighting. Kind of doing all this. Actually, you know what? I could probably have the lighting come through the side. No, maybe not. Let's get some legs on this baby. And get some light up in here. Let's get YouTube watching at least something over there. You can watch the printer sort of go there. You guys do need to see this. Just throw you live and let me get some lighting set up. I'm just setting up the lighting and stuff for the, so I can set you guys up. I don't want to stop the live right now. I don't have to. Sort of make it raw. Watch me raw. What? I'm just moving these, then I'll do that then.
What?
I'm just moving these things, then I'll do that. Oops.
No. I don't give a fuck.
You watch our language online too.
I'm not sitting here.
I'm moving it up. I'm just putting it on. Actually push this back, I think. So, I'll move you guys around a little bit. I'll situate myself there. Try to situate. what? I know what I can do. Oh! I'm just gonna take the light off of this and put the freaking camera on this. I don't need the light on this right now. Let's just use this tripod for the camera. There we go. YouTube, you got a camera now. There you go. You got a tripod. Let's switch you up here. Gonna put this tripod on now. Hopefully this fits. Okay, good. Alright. Let's move you guys in now. Alongside with just above TikTok here. Let's get this thing straight. Move down. So hopefully you guys can see what I'm doing there. Let's see there. So I'm going to prime these out first. Not sure if I have to switch the capping stations, but I just switched to new pumps. The lines look good there. So everything should be okay there. And so I'm going to prime these. Let's take a quick peek. I'm just going to knock this capping station down quick. Just move this over. Everything looks okay there. And I'll line this back up. Put the capping station up for now. So, you're gonna need a syringe for this and a little waste, something to put your waste in. I got a waste. I use this as my waste. Just a old water bottle. Just kind of squirt into it. Okay, so we'll start with the back ones here, yellow. And what you kind of want to do is get some paper towel. What I'll do is I'll just stuff it. Oops, timber on that one. I'm just going to stuff it in the middle of the heads, kind of fold it up, and then I'll just put it in between the heads, so if there is any spilling by accident, it just spills onto this and absorbs into your paper towel versus on your heads and into the cables where you can create damage. So I'll do that. And just to make it easier, I'm going to use my drip stoppers actually. I'm going to take these out and move them over.
Front door open.
Jonathan. Picking up this one.
Okay.
Thank you.
Front door open.
Okay, so this is where these drip stoppers here. So these are the drip stoppers, and this is where they come in handy when you're doing maintenance, right? And they're pretty universal to most dampers. But again, you just put it on so that you can freely move this around. You don't worry about any spillage, and I can just freely move that aside so I can get to my back dampers. So again, I just pull this out carefully, nice and straight up, not touching this part. As soon as you touch that, it starts to drip. So what you want to do is get your drip stopper on there, and now I can freely move it around. I've got some conceptual ones here as well. Just put those on. That. So now I can get to my back really easy. And what I'll do is I'll put a paper towel over this so that if a drip comes here, it doesn't drip into my other head or over the surface here, onto the plate, your printer plate. Let's do that. I don't have to worry about it so much going down there, so I'll just move this cable up there. Let's get it down. Alright, we'll just do that. I'll kind of stuff it in the hole a little bit. Again, just making sure that you have coverage where if there's any drips, it'll drip onto the paper towel versus into your head. Start off with the yellow. And what we're doing here is we're pulling out all the air, number one, and making sure the dampers work okay. There's a lot of restriction there. I'm going to figure out what that is. I have a piece. If I can find it. I gotta go to my cart. Hold on. So I use these, I get these off like Alibaba or something like, but they're like for dogs, for syringes to like, for some kind of medical thing, but what I do with them is they fit on the end of the syringe, right? So what I do is I just put them on the end like this. Oops. Now you can squirt out of it. It has such a small hole at the end. Let me just squirt out what I did there. I didn't want to do that. And then what you do is you just cut off. I got so much ink in here now, it's going to make a mess. But anyhow, that's okay. I just cut off to where you can stick it in the syringe. So just cut it off enough where it'll go into the syringe. And then this way, when you're putting it in, it'll kind of stabilize it a bit better. You can freely move it around a bit better. And now what I'm doing is you hold the damper right upside down, kind of move it side to side until you get all that air out. And what I'm doing is I'm completely pulling through so I know that I have all the air out of the lines and out of the damper itself. And then you just push back a little bit so that that damper bubbles out a bit. And then I come down, I'll pull it out, wipe it off, put it into place. Okay, so now this damper is primed. It's in. Just make sure it goes straight back in. Now with this one in particular, it kind of has a base on it, so it lines up the dampers perfectly as you put them in, so I can go straight in with it. So now I'm just going to discard this, move on to the next one. Got red. Again, pulling through, upside down. Now I'm getting some drawback, so I just gotta check my line to see if there's any clip on something, or see what's going on there. Because I don't have clips on these. make sure that your containers, your ink containers, are loose as well. They don't have, if they're tight, you have to allow a little bit of air in. There. So now I got that. Push it back a bit. Let the drips go. Kind of just wipe that up. Make sure you get up inside the damper there. Clean any excess off. And just put it straight back in. Again, not touching the sides because it will spill. Discard that. Black. It's not even pulling through here. See, let's do a drip test. We grab. May have to change this damper right out. This has been sitting for a little bit, so you see I'm trying to perform a drip test. It's not. That means I don't have flow through there, so pretty sure it's this damper. So I'm going to switch the damper out. Let's see if that helps. Okay, so I got a new damper here. So what I'll do here is I will clip. Oops. I'll take a piece of paper towel. And this is just, I put the paper towel steps to cut the line, not to cut it, but to restrict the ink from flowing. So I'll just stop the ink flow there, but I put this so it's a little bit easier on the hose, not metal on the hose. So now I can change my damper safely. I can cut, oops, I can cut here. I have enough space to put a new damper, so you always always clip up to where you leave yourself enough space to work with as well. So now I can cut this off and not worry about it dripping.